Tim, and welcome to Watch You Want. Thanks for logging on. Today, we're looking at the IWC Pilot's Chronograph reference 371713, 42 millimeters in 18 karat rose gold. This watch was produced from 2006 to 2011, and with all due respect to those big pilots out there, us average and smaller pilots need a watch too, and that's exactly what IWC delivers with the Pilot's Chronograph 371713. At 42 millimeters, it's a good, robust size for a modern sports watch, and it's got great wrist stance. You can see that the lugs have a nice sprawling span to them. They're not cropped excessively short as you might see on a huge watch, and they taper nicely to accentuate the curves of the case rather than, sort of decapitating it just as your wrist ends. A human anatomy can only take so much size, and the nice thing about a smaller watch, not that this watch is small, but a more reasonably sized watch, is that you get to style elements other than the dial itself because, well, let's just face it, the entirety of it, when it's smaller, can fit on a human wrist. So those lugs are beautifully tapered, integrated, and the nice thing about scaling down the big pilot a little bit is that you get to incorporate styling elements from other parts of the IWC pilot watch heritage. Now this one definitely has some cues that refer to the famous B-ER or the Type 52 TSC giant pilot's watch, the 1940s. But another lineage is represented here, that of the IWC Mark series. Now you can see a little bit of the original 1940s Mark 11 that debuted just after World War II for the British Ministry of Defence and the Australian Air Arm, but you can also see elements of some of the later marks, including the 12 and the 15, and it's kind of nice because the watch sort of has a roadmap of IWC's history inherent in its design. While it looks thoroughly contemporary, the shape of the numerals, the shape of the case, the indexes, the high contrast dial itself, and the shape of the hands are knowing nods and winks to well-known pilots' watches that really lend real substance to IWC's modern pilot watch continuity and modern pilot watch model lines. You know that there's a lot of heritage behind the design of this watch and the Schaffhausen watchmakers who created it. So on the wrist, it fits beautifully. It's got a little bit of height to it. It's approximately 14.5 millimeters thick, so it sits a bit high. It could clear a looser cuff. It's not, strictly speaking, a tight dress cuff watch. It might fight a French cuff just a bit, but it also has a little bit of tumble home, as you can see, at the top of the bezel, sloping up and onto the curved, somewhat convex sapphire crystal, so I wouldn't consider it a lost cause with respect to formal cuffs, dress sleeves, things of that nature, but it definitely has the presence and the persona of a dress watch. It's also sporty enough with the combination of a light-colored metal and a black dial that you could wear it with short sleeves, and let's face it, I'm wearing it with short sleeves right now, and I feel it looks just fine. Rose gold is a more versatile gold, in my opinion, than yellow because it's a better match for almost all skin tones. It's warmer, it's more approachable, it has more charm, and for that reason I really feel, especially in conjunction with this beautiful brown alligator strap, it makes this Pilot's Chronograph 371713 more versatile. I also want to call out specific elements of the dial that I feel really add a lot of value. First and foremost, beautifully abundant loom. This watch is as visible in the dark as it is in the day. The fact that the hands, which are large sword type, are beautifully loomed and thoroughly and deeply loomed means that you'll never have trouble telling what time it is. Also, and it's a thoughtful measure that IWC takes, but all of the sub-registers feature generously loomed hands in their own right. So from a functional standpoint, the chronograph is still quite useful in the dark. Now the day date function, part of the IWC caliber 79320, is a beautiful tandem with the chronograph because I feel that between automatic winding, which this watch has, a day date feature, and a chronograph, you've got just about all of your bases covered for a comprehensive everyday companion. Again, versatility in this case is a plus because that combination of the long sleeve, short sleeve aesthetic range of this watch and these complications and the auto winding make this something that could be your only watch. If you're looking for a definitive IWC, something that's emblematic of what the brand does best today, as well as its heritage, this reasonably sized 42mm IWC Pilot's Chronograph with all the features I just discussed and that gorgeous combination of rose gold and black dial is a fantastic place to start. I feel like this could be your only IWC or an essential reference that you need to add to your collection if you've got a small family of them. Now this watch is available with comprehensive equipment from Watch You Want. The thing is, you can get the manuals, all original factory technical documentation, documents of provenance, and factory packaging when you buy this IWC Pilot's Chronograph 371713 in outstanding condition. This is as traditional as it gets in IWC speak. Beautiful contrasting finish with polished bezel, polished lug and case tops, brushed flanks, and of course, what real pilot's watch has anything but a solid case back? The bottom line is that this is as traditional as a slightly formal IWC sporty reference gets. A company once known for its sports watches, for its tool watches, for its professional watches. This watch pays deference to that tradition while not being mired in it. It is a contemporary timepiece, yet it doesn't fall prey to the excesses of which some have accused recent IWC sports watch references. In a lot of ways, it is a perfect melding of the past and present of IWC, the best of what Schaffhausen does best. Check out this IWC Pilot's Chronograph 371713 on our website, Watch You Want.